sky and on the ground.
And that's how we target where we want the drops to go.
Feeding frenzy. Bears seem to be everywhere in western North Carolina as they fatten up for the winter.
Acorns and nuts may be on the menu, but so are bird feeders, trash, and pet food left outside.
While off the California coast, sperm whales make a rare appearance.
This is truly, one of those actual once-in-a-lifetime moments.
And the days are getting shorter. See how much sunlight we're losing this month.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm Angela Brown. Today is September 10th, the traditional peak of hurricane season, but right now the Atlantic is quiet. One meteorologist calls it a ghost town. So does that mean the 2025 hurricane season will not live up to the hype? Here's Florida meteorologist Jennifer Collins.
Across the Atlantic basin, not tracking much in the way of tropics right now, as the peak of hurricane season is today. No formation is expected over the next 7 days from the National Hurricane Center. And as I mentioned, today is the peak of hurricane season. Although historically we do remain active through September and into October, it is good news, though, to not track anything during the peak of hurricane season. We like things to be nice and quiet. However, it's very important. Most landfalling systems in Florida actually occur after the peak of hurricane season, so it's very important to stay updated with the latest forecast. Of course, conditions should change in the Atlantic basin, and we could see more systems developing. So far this season, we've had 6 named storms, 1 hurricane and 1 major hurricane. Gabrielle is the next name of the season.
And meantime, Kiko is barely a tropical storm as it passes north of the Hawaiian Islands. Its top winds are now 40 miles per hour. Once it falls to 38, though, it will be a depression. Some areas are seeing heavy showers. High surf and rip currents are also likely through tomorrow. Now, crews are making progress fighting the Garnet fire in Central California. The 3rd largest wildfire in California this year has not grown much since this time yesterday, but an evacuation zone now covers 400 square miles east of Fresno, while the flames did reach a grove of hundreds of giant sequoia trees. The Sierra National Forest firefighters reportedly were able to save most of them. We have 2 reports now to give you a better understanding of how they are battling the flames from the ground and from the sky. We start with Carl Cook.
Fire retardants like Phos-Chek are typically dropped from the air onto the fires to slow their spread by making fire fuels non-flammable. But now the group that creates the fire retardant has crews applying it from the ground. Steve Barton, who was on the ground applying the solution, explains how this works.
So we have specialized spray equipment that resembles a water truck that we spray from the roadways or from a hose lay, however they want to spray it onto the ground. We can pretty much accommodate what they need.
The fire retardant is a red solution that's a mixture of water, fertilizer, and iron oxide. The mixture has also been tested to be sure that it's eco-friendly.
It's gone through the QPL certification through the Forest Service, so they've tested for mammalian, fish toxicity, whatnot. There are avoidance areas that you do not want to spray it, and we've been working closely with the agency on that.
But even with some of these adjustments, the company believes this is another item for fire crews to use in order to not only put out fires like the Garnet fire, but also for prevention like building contingency lines.
What we were doing is they were supporting a backburn to where they were actually going to have to put fire on the ground defensively for the fire coming towards them to create a blackened area to stop the fire. So we were pre-treating the green side that they wanted not to burn.
We're flying day and night operations, and we carry a 3,000-gallon tank, very similar to what the C-130s and the Boeing 737s operate with our fixed-wing fleet. So we're as effective dropping retardant as we are dropping direct attack on top of the flames. 3,000-gallon tank, that's equivalent to roughly 6 fire trucks. We have what we call an Overwatch helicopter. And in the Overwatch helicopter, it has a thermal imaging camera that fires a laser beam the size of a car. And the pilots in the firebombing aircraft can see the laser coming from the helicopter. And that's how we target where we want the drops to go. And we also are able to cleanse the areas where we're going to be snorkeling from, so we can move around the fire to the various different dip sites. And this Overwatch helicopter can provide not only protection, but intelligence and direction of where we want those helicopters to work.
Yesterday, the National Weather Service issued a coastal flood advisory for areas along the Carolina coast. Now, during high tide, some areas saw moderate flooding. As meteorologist Fallon Mears reports, astronomical influences are one of the reasons tides can be higher.
High and low tides are caused by the moon.
Every time there's a full moon or a new moon, the tides are going to be higher because they're going to be pulling on the earth stronger by both the sun and the moon, especially a new moon where the sun and the moon are both on the same side of the earth, so you get a double pull.
This typically happens in the fall and early winter during what's known as a perigene spring tide, but sometimes there are other factors too.
In this case, whenever you hear about a northeast wind around our area, that's a good setup, especially if it's like, you're talking like 15, 20 mile an hour winds or higher for some length of time, 12 or more hours. That's going to help set the water up to be higher.
Sometimes it's an ongoing ocean current.
The wind does other things. So like we have a Gulf Stream off our coast, and the northeast wind is actually blowing against that south to north moving Gulf Stream, slows it down, and by slowing down the Gulf Stream, it actually raises the water levels along the east coast of the United States as well.
Tropical systems and even afternoon storms can be factors as well.
Remember, if it's raining on top of the times where these tides are high, the drainage is largely tied to the tide level. If the tides are high, the drainage can't work. So the flooding can be even more, more impactful.
Morales says these tidal cycles can be for a few days in a row.
For, again, coastal flood advisories are for the lower impact flooding, kind of more nuisance flooding, flooded roads, that kind of thing. But
And black bears are showing up in more places across North Carolina as they search for food before hibernating for winter. It's leading to more human-bear interaction. Elijah Skipper has more.
Cassie Hall admits she made a mistake leaving a package out overnight.
So I reached out to Chewy and ordered another box. And they reached out to me and they said, "Is everything okay with that box? We just sent one to you." And so I sent them the video.
For a human, lifting that bag takes 2 hands and a deep breath. For this guy, just another grocery run.
I think the bear theft was not a real common customer service issue.
Experts say it's not just curiosity that brings bears this close. It's survival, a biological season called hyperphagia.
That really just references super mega eating mode for bears. So usually it starts around this time of year as we get into late summer, early fall. And it's really a switch in their metabolism.
Acorns and nuts may be on the menu, but so are bird feeders, trash, and pet food left outside. It's not just porches, bears are crossing roads more often too, making highways just as dangerous for drivers as they are for bears.
Black bears are really dark. They blend in really well. They move really quickly.
In the end, a bag of dog food was a small price to pay for a story that now belongs to Cassie, her dogs, and of course, the bears.
We're moving into their environment and they don't have a lot of places to go.
Now, bear activity usually tapers off around Thanksgiving, but officials warn that you could still see them during the wintertime.
And now let's check to see the weather in cities across the country today. We begin in Providence, Rhode Island, and a look at what's often called the Superman building for its resemblance to the Daily Planet building where Clark Kent worked. It's on the left side of your screen. Skies are overcast this morning with a slight chance of rain. High today will be in the upper 60s. And now heading to Orlando, Florida, and a look at the Kia Center, an indoor arena that's home to the Orlando Magic. Skies are also cloudy with thunderstorms likely in the afternoon. Highs today, upper 80s, mid to upper 80s. And now we head to the Midwest and a look at Appanoose County Courthouse in Centerville, Iowa. Construction on the building started in 1904. It was placed on the National Registry of Historic Places in 1981. Skies over the courthouse there will be a mix of sun and clouds today, highs in the low 80s. And now to Tempe, Arizona, and a look at the Union Pacific Salt River Bridge. The original structure was at 4th Bridge at the same location. The 3 predecessors were destroyed by flooding. There's an excessive heat warning in place for Tempe today with clear skies and a high of 104. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll tell you about the rare sperm whale sighting off the Carolina coast.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti. Look at the northeast, where skies are brightest today in the northeast. There we will be warmer with temps in the 70s. More clouds are expected over eastern zones thanks to an ocean storm off to our east here. That will keep temperatures in the 60s along the coastal plain. Best chance for showers will be in the southeastern Massachusetts, Cape Cod, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard. A lot of that moves out during the nighttime hours, and Thursday is going to be a beautiful day and a warmer day with highs in the upper 70s.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Jabali. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. A passing disturbance offshore will bring a lot of cloud cover, especially to the coastal regions of the Mid-Atlantic. And, well, we will see the clouds lingering throughout your Wednesday. A few light showers will be accompanied with it, with the majority of the rain staying offshore. But we will, again, keep the small chance for some rain around. Otherwise, temperatures will be cooler as we move into your Wednesday. By Thursday, we'll see those temperatures recovering out of the 60s, the low 70s, back up to the 80s.
Good Wednesday morning, meteorologist Michael Araber with a look at your southeast regional forecast for this Wednesday. Central and South Florida will be having the lion's shares of showers and thunderstorms, and mainly along the immediate Gulf Coast in coastal Mississippi and Louisiana. Other than that, the rest of the southeast will enjoy drier air with plenty of sunshine throughout the day with fair skies as we go on through your Wednesday night. High temperatures ranging from the mid-80s to about 90. The cool spot 84 in Atlanta, the warm spot 91 in West Palm Beach.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A string of lightning shots were captured Monday night over Yakima, Washington, and this lightning strike frozen in time during recent storms near Redding, California. A rainbow at sunset made for a pretty view in Rhode Island recently, and incredible evening and sunset views as seen from the Block Island Ferry in southern New England.
For more content like this, subscribe to the National Weather Desk's YouTube channel.
This past weekend marked the anniversary of a destructive storm that impacted several northeastern states. Meteorologist Peter Hall tells us more about it.
The anniversary of the 1998 Labor Day storm, where two derechos occurred across the Northeast. The first one happened during the middle of the night, just after midnight, across central New York, and then went into New England. That's noted by this green blob area. 3 people died in the greater Syracuse area with winds estimated of 115 miles per hour. The definition of a derecho, by the way, is a strong, damaging thunderstorm wind swath that goes across a long area, typically at least 400 miles long and 60 miles wide. In fact, the Labor Day storm had 2 derechos. Notice during the wee hours of the morning, a secondary derecho started around Ohio, went across Pennsylvania into New Jersey and the tri-state area of New York City and Long Island. I want to show you what the radar looked like from the immediate Syracuse area and central New York, where those storms worked through the area and some of the damage that occurred. It was one of the biggest weather stories across the Northeast in the past quarter century.
People on a whale watching tour in San Diego got a rare treat over the weekend. They spotted not 1, but 2 sperm whales. This is the first time in years these elusive creatures have been seen in the area. Shannon Handy reports.
Gone Whale Watching founder Dominic Giannini says in all the years he's been conducting tours off our coast, he's never seen something like this.
Gone Whale Watching has existed since 2019. And we have never seen a sperm whale before on a 2.5-hour whale watching trip.
It happened around sunrise. Gone Whale Watching had 2 boats in the water when they received a call from the captain of another boat out on a bird tour.
And they said, hey, we see some kind of whale out here. You know, my guests don't want to stop. But the spout is like a 45-degree angle. And that's significant because unlike, say, a blue whale or a humpback whale whose blowholes are on top of their head, a sperm whale's blowhole is on the side of their head.
After heading in the direction they were told and searching for about 15 minutes, they spotted the sperm whales.
So initially we saw one, and then as we hung around with that one, we noticed a second whale. And throughout the day, they got closer and closer until they were side by side, literally rubbing against one another.
Sperm whales are the largest toothed whales on Earth and inspired the main character in Moby Dick. Dominic says based on size alone, about 50 feet, it appears they're both males. It's common for male sperm whales to hang out with each other instead of traveling with females in what's known as bachelor pods. So why are they so rare to see? For starters, sperm whales stay submerged deep underwater for long periods of time. But more significant is the fact whaling reduced their population from 1 million globally to varying estimates between 300,000 and 845,000.
Do you think this sighting is a sign that things are getting better?
I mean, it's hard to extrapolate one moment to something so large in scale, but there's no doubt that protections like from the Marine Mammal Protection Act, the Endangered Species Act, those things have gone a long way.
Researchers in California do keep track of sperm whale sightings. Dominic hopes his images will help determine if these two have ever been seen before. In the meantime, he's hoping they stick around so others can see them too.
There are people out here that have done whale watching for the last 20 years and have never seen this species. This is truly, one of those actual once-in-a-lifetime moments.
Well, it's almost bow hunting season in Wisconsin. Eric Peterson tells us about preparations for the archery season in the Badger State, where the focus will be on deer.
In this Wapaka County farm field, Rodney Minton says he's familiar with the signs of the upcoming season.
We're still seeing a few bachelor groups of bucks in the area, but they're starting to split up a little bit. A lot of does and a lot of fawns. Yeah. It was a mild winter, so the fawn crop this year is really good.
Minton also owns the Middle Bucket, an archery store near Wapaka. He says he's been busy selling and repairing crossbows and compound bows.
90% of it is strings and cables. Just keeping them up to date so they don't break on you. Depending how much you shoot, 2 to 5 years is the life on a set of strings. Wow. Crossbows are faster because of the power involved with the crossbows.
Saturday is opening day for the bow season. DNR deer specialist Jeff Pritzel says about half of the total deer hunting population identifies themselves as archers.
The crossbow has taken the lead, in the last couple of years, and so we've got a few more crossbow hunters than vertical bow archery hunters. They tend to harvest a few more deer than the vertical bow archery hunters. But it's a personal choice option. That what we do know about the advent of crossbows being available, which is 10 years now already, is that it is keeping older deer hunters in the game longer.
Back at the Middle Bucket and archery, Rodney Minton says he's looking forward to a chance to take to the field.
My big thing is the weather's better in September and October than November, so I like archery for the weather aspect of it.
And with September underway, gardeners will soon need to prepare for winter. Meteorologist Ryan Munn spoke with a gardening expert on the ways to put your garden to bed for the cold season.
September has arrived, and soon the colder weather will follow. Allie Robillard, the owner of Robillard's Garden Center, says you'll first want to go through and clean up.
I think the first big thing is to tidy it up, get it cleaned up from any debris, leaves, sticks, even doing a little bit of weeding.
And while you're at it, consider planting new perennials or bulbs. Robillard says it's good to get them established before the cold sets in. It's also very important to add the necessary nutrients to your garden.
Whether that's a compost or like a fertilizer of some kind, something that has a little less nitrogen in it, because you don't want to promote and encourage too much growth, because then it's going to be susceptible to frost.
You'll also want to look for something with a higher percentage of potash or phosphorus. Once the compost is down, a layer of mulch can be very beneficial.
That mulch is just going to help try to prevent some of the weeds returning, as well as hold in the moisture from your last watering, hold in your nutrients that you've put on there on top.
After you've cleaned up the garden, fed the soil, and added a new layer of mulch, there's one last step.
I would say once you've put your garden to bed, do one last watering on that, and especially if you're covering it with the compost and the mulch, do one last watering to keep it ready for the winter season.
And as we go to break, a look at Greene County in northeastern Tennessee.
Well, a very good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew McMichael. There is just a slim chance of a couple of light rain showers across part of the Midwest today, but most of us stay dry with highs in the 70s and 80s as we continue into the day tomorrow. A lot of us continue to stay dry with a little bit of rain up there in the Dakotas and a little bit of rain to the far north on Friday, but otherwise, most of the Midwest staying dry and heating up.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. Here's a look at your regional weather. We're all waking up to some really nice morning. It is cool all the way from Amarillo back over into Oklahoma City. A little warm and steamy down Fort Brownsville or so, but not too bad. Today will be pretty quiet. We'll see hit and miss showers down across South Texas. A few little hit and miss showers back up to the north, but for the most part, it's going to be a really nice day with summer-like temperatures. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. That's a look at your regional weather.
Well, hi there and a good Wednesday morning to everybody. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Out west, we're settling into some September sunshine along the California coastline. It's the time of year where the fog peels away from the Golden Gate Bridge and from the coastline there through Santa Barbara and LA as well. So temperatures well into the 70s all the way down to San Diego. 80s, meanwhile, out of Boise with thunderstorms continuing to bring lightning and thunder to Washington and Oregon. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Well, no matter where you live in the northern hemisphere, you'll see less daylight this month. Meteorologist Kit Alexander tells us more.
The month of September typically features cooler temperatures for a large portion of the United States. The official start of fall begins on September 22nd. Hard to believe we're almost there, folks. But also this month is known for its loss of daylight. In the extreme northern portion of the country, we lose about 100 minutes of daylight. The mid-Atlantic, however, loses about an hour, which is equivalent to 2 minutes per day. And then in the southern portion of the country, we lose about 40 minutes of daylight. But why is this so? Well, the Earth is angled at about a 23.5-degree angle, and during the summer season, the northern hemisphere is pointed towards the sun. But however, as we progress through September, the Earth moves along the ecliptic plane to the area where the most direct sun rays are located over the equator at about 0 degrees. In other words, the lower angle of the sun is correlating with less daylight and for many cooler temperatures.
And for more weather news and videos, check out us on social media. You can find us on your favorite social media platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Angela Brown. Make it a great day, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.